I'm really proud, particularly of these young men and women that are coming out and getting arrested right now to protest these policies. The Bush administration just continues to break the laws of the United States as well as violating international treaties. So the administration is not changing its ways. It's up to us, the people, to force this Congress. That's why we're having this on Capitol Hill, where the houses of Congress are here. They're the ones that are our elected representatives to stop an administration. And so we're here to say to this Congress, we elected you to stop the war, and you haven't done it yet.
You will be placed under arrest. This is your first warning.
There's a protest behind me as we speak, organized by a group called No War, No Warming, that has not been heard of in American television, American cable television, American newspapers, and may not be heard about tomorrow, despite the fact that we've shut down the road in front of the Capitol and the buildings and the offices of the Congress members here today for hours. And this may go on for the rest of today and tomorrow, and it still may not be heard of.
I've been arrested 14 times myself as a retired U.S. Army colonel, and I intend to get arrested more. So I'm so proud of those veterans that were up on those steps to say, we veterans, we are willing to sacrifice our freedom so that we can call attention to the need to end this war.
We got a VIP here. Back up, please. Back up. Let's keep our perimeter here, folks. Keep our perimeter.
What we did was, the idea of it was that it was a street theater, and we had Blackwater employees and U.S. soldiers guarding an oil executive. And the idea behind that, with the theater aspect, is that Congress is a safe haven for this oil executive, so we put him in the doorway of Congress and we guarded him. This Congress has created a safe haven for the oil industry. This Congress has created a safe haven for mercenaries, and the people who really pay the price are U.S. soldiers and Iraqis.
This is your second warning. You all need to move right now. You're going to be arrested. You need to move away from the door. You're blocking the door. It's your second warning.
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to step back. We've got an oil VIP here. Oil exec VIP. I'm going to have to ask you to step back, please.
Here's your third and final warning.
Step back, step back, step back. Step back.
Arrest Bush, not Vance! Arrest Bush, not Vance! Arrest Bush, not Vance! Arrest Bush, not...
Well, when I was in Iraq, I was stationed in Tikrit with a brigadier general. I worked for a general, so sometimes I felt like the entire unit was against the war, but I felt like I was the only one that would do something about it given the chance. I just didn't know what to do. And I really felt alone in that. And one specific incident, there was a traffic control point shooting, a TCP shooting, and a mother, a father, and 2 kids were killed. There was a boy who was age 4 and a daughter who was age 3, and they were killed because they were driving too fast towards a checkpoint, and a kid on a machine gun thought, hey, they're a threat. And he put more than 200 rounds in less than a minute into this car. And I really felt very alone until I met other Iraq veterans who also had a problem with this dehumanization, this racism that we see happen every day in Iraq at the highest levels. All the people that I know in Iraq or just coming home from Iraq or who have just come home from Iraq realize the futility of the war. They're riding up and down the same roads just waiting to get blown up. And that futility is leading to anger. They just want to stay alive and come home. That's it. Nothing precedes that idea. Stay alive, come home.
Patrick was my only child, and he was everything to me. The officer, military, came here to this house. Just told me, very coldly and very calmly, ma'am, your son was I have the regret to tell you that your son was killed at 11:45, shot multiple times by insurgent. And basically that's all I was told. Patrick did not agree being in Iraq. He did not agree about the war. He didn't understand why we were in Iraq in the first place.
Nadia McCaffrey has always been open about her only son's death 2 years ago. This was an image she wanted the world to see. A flag-draped coffin carrying the body of a man she calls a hero.
Immediately after his body returned from Iraq, he was sent to Dover first. There was an autopsy performed, and his coffin arrived here in Sacramento Airport. At the time, there was a ban forbidding a flag-draped coffin to be photographed. And I did not agree with this. The day Patrick was deployed against his will, he waved at us and tried to cheer us up. Why in the world was I going to hide him? Coming home in a coffin, especially. I was not going to hide him, no. And from that moment on, I became the mother who defied the Bush administration. There was one of the soldiers that actually found Patrick laying after he was shot, because two were killed, one was wounded. The soldier who was wounded was picked up by the ambulance and taken away. Patrick was left in the dirt, and his artery was severed by a bullet, by AK-47 bullet. And he basically bled to death, but he still had a pulse and he still was breathing. Now, why didn't they pick him up in the ambulance? I'm talking about the Americans here. I still want answers for that.
To her son, who the Army said died in an ambush almost 2 years ago to the day, on July 22nd, 2004. But now an investigation shows that McCaffrey and another soldier were murdered by defense patrolmen they were training.
I think the whole thing was kind of planned. I don't think it was an accident, no. I think Patrick was definitely taken out of the way. He had become an advocate for the soldier, and he also had reported quite a few incidents and things that he had witnessed that nobody wanted to hear and were never reported.
Brigadier General Oscar Hillman and 3 other officers arrived just before 3 this afternoon here in Tracy for the McCaffrey family. And the McCaffrey family has a lawyer with them and expect Nadia McCaffrey to talk to the press about what she has learned.
I don't have proof of it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he wouldn't, if he would have been silenced.
In the last couple of years, we've been protesting, organizing mobilizations, mobilizing people to vote. We voted in a new Congress. They didn't do anything. And so we felt very desperate. So we rented a house here very close to the Capitol, and we go every day to the hearings. They get very angry with us because sometimes we speak out in the hearings. They arrest us, we're back again, they arrest us, we're back again. And now they're trying to find ways to absolutely ban us. I've been arrested in many hearings and in front of the White House and in front of the Capitol and many places, and spend many nights in jail because we feel that obligation to protest. And when General Petraeus was going to appear before Congress and for the American people to say that the surge was working and things are getting better in Iraq and we're now providing electricity and we're providing water and people's lives are more secure, I just couldn't sit there and listen to that. So I spontaneously really jumped onto my chair and started yelling, "The people don't believe you anymore. You're not telling the truth. The surge is not working. We want our troops to come home." And I was picked up. I'm only about 100 pounds, so it's pretty easy for the police to just pick me up, and carried me out and carted off to jail.
Peacemakers get arrested for holding their fingers in the air, and the war makers like Condoleezza Rice get treated like celebrities